And that is by far the best, most efficient, and strongest, highest damage dealing build for literally everything in the game. And that is a free-to-play person who has built it and is dominating. So if they can do it, obviously you can too. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know about an Omega card build that it's out in Marvel Future Revolution right now. This Omega card build can use special cards, but does not require them. This is a build that can be free to play friendly because it only requires rare cards. It doesn't require anything above that, okay? You don't have to pull some super crazy type of cards, and the exclusive stats aren't required either. In fact, you can go a variety of ways with the exclusive stats, depending if you're building this build for PvE or PvP. It's also farmable, meaning you can just fight bosses to get these cards. You don't have to pull for them. For that reason, I want to break it down in this video, what I've seen the best players use and what is also easily accessible. Let's get into it. All right, let's get right into it. So this is WikiWolf. This is a free-to-play player. I'm going to show this player first. That way it is an easy way to prove that you can get these cards free to play. So look at the Omega card selection, okay? Take a look at these cards. If you recognize any of these cards, you're very quickly going to realize there is a very simple theme. Attack percentage and critical damage. Let's show you. So if we go to Thor, we look the critical damage set. It's set number 6, which is the Midgardia set. The bonus is critical damage. The primary is attack percentage. And then the exclusive stat is focusing on PvP. So he has exclusive stat PvP. Obviously, the bonus stat here is max damage rate. Now, if you move on to the next card, this is the Red Skull card. And you notice these are rare cards. These aren't special cards. Critical damage. He's focusing on PvP, so he has PvP damage decrease. Again, the exclusive stat does not matter. You can change this exclusive stat if you're going for PvE or PvP. He even shows this on a further card because he has a supervillain damage primary card to help him with some PvE, which also gives him attack percentage. But you're going to notice all of the cards he used are either part of a set that gives attack percentage or part of a set that gives crit damage. And the primaries are either attack percentage or critical damage. And then I think he throws in this card if he's working on supervillains, okay? So basically the primary focus of this free-to-play friendly build and the build I've been losing to as a multiple $1,000 Omega card well in Arena. Like I would lose to this build in Arena. I have done this on my last live stream. I played a lot of Arena, and on my Spider-Man, it was Rise of the East, and like I've got Captain Marvel, I've got Black Widow, I've got Spider-Man, I've got special cards. I'm losing to this build, okay, to give you an idea. And I've actually started to switch my build over to these critical damage type of builds, okay? So let me show you, in fact. We go to my mega cards, you're going to see I'm starting to build them, okay? Now, if you're not running Black Widow, where she has 100% crit rate with her ultimate, you can run the critical rate card too. This card here, the Captain America card. Once again, this is Dark Zone 4, so the 2-piece set is attack. You're looking for sets that give 2-piece attack or 2-piece critical damage. These are sets 11. These are sets number 2. These are, for instance, sets number 5, for instance. There's a lot of different sets that give these 2-piece attack bonuses, and the set number 6 gives critical damage and critical rate while having a critical damage and attack percentage primary cards under Thor and Loki. Okay, so basically, the focus on this build is to get your critical rate and critical damage as high as possible. Now, you may say, well, how did the free-to-play people get these cards? Well, good thing you asked, because look, if you actually look at the cards, these are all cards that are farmable. So if you look at the heroes, you can actually go to Midgardia, and you can farm this by fighting Lokis. It's a Vote Loki card. You fight Lokis, and you get a Vote Loki card eventually. This is a Crossbones card that has critical damage. Okay, if you want to run all the critical damage cards, you can go fight Prime Crossbones on the map and eventually get that card. Captain America card here, okay? Where do we get this card? This is a Dark Zone only drop as it stands, okay? I'm not actually sure where this card comes from, if I'm being 100% honest, but you can acquire it through the pose, I suppose, and it's from the Dark Zone. I don't know which boss this is, maybe Armin Zola. So this might be Dark Zone Armin Zola only. It shows a few other people, but that's Armin Zola there. So you probably have to kill Prime Armin Zola, okay? But again, you can get free to play. These cards I'm using here are special cards, which are going to be PvP because I'm focusing on PvP, and then I'm using critical damage with PvP, and then obviously attack percentage. This doesn't have to be this card, okay? You don't have to have the special cards. Again, you can just run attack percentage cards, critical damage cards. So if you see like, oh, that's max rate, that's not what I'm looking for, you know, you can go through and be like, oh, but this one, critical damage, that is what I'm looking for. That's going to be one of the ones for the build, okay? So essentially your idea is get your attack percentage as high as you can, your crit damage as high as you can, because then you're going to one-shot people with whatever your high damage single target move is. So for instance, for me, it's Web Shooter Mastery. So if I go and I look at my Web Shooter Mastery, this one, right, and Focus Web Wrap does 1,000 damage and hits multiple times. So if I have high crit rate, high crit damage, each one of those is going to have a chance to crit. When it does crit, it's going to do a bajillion damage because of my cards, and it almost overrides all the other stats. It's better than stacking just attack percentage. It's better than stacking just PvP damage, etc. Plus, there is caps on stats. The cap for critical damage is 300%, whereas the cap for things like PvP damage is 75%. And I can get to 85, 90% PvP damage increase pretty easily, okay? But that doesn't help me because I'm then over the cap. So critical damage is pretty hard to hit 300%. You can also get critical damage and critical rate off of your gear pieces. So your helmet and chest plate can get these stats also, which means it also will synergize with your critical damage, critical rate cards, okay? Much better than things like trying to build a lot of guard damage or something like that, okay? This is the most effective, easiest to acquire, most free-to-play friendly, and the build I'm seeing at all the top ranks of either Dimension, Duel, Mega War, etc. This seems to be kind of it. It can also be min-max, meaning you can continue to re-roll it to get the versions you want. And because it's farmable, you can also farm it till you get the pieces you want. I think it's really kind of the sweet spot in the game for both free-to-play and light spenders. Heavy spenders have a different build, like I'm talking thousands and thousands and thousands, more than I've spent, okay? It's all special cards because you get an extra bonus staff rate. You literally just run all special cards and you forget about the bonuses. And I don't think that's a set I want to recommend. I want to recommend something that's farmable, something that I'm losing to as a well, and something that I've seen free-to-play people actually kick ass on. Shout out to Weekly Wolves for this as well. Love you all. Thanks for subscribing to this video. I hope this build helped. Remember, critical rate, critical damage, attack percentage. Look for stats of those nature with those primaries of which are farmable, and you can get them from prime targets. That would be Red Skull. That would be Crossbones. That would be Loki. Okay. Love you all. Oh, Armanzola also. And I'll see you on the next video. On the end here, because I didn't want it to be too big of a plug, I wanted to let you guys know I actually found a new home that I'm moving to. I'm renting, not owning. It's a small place. It's just a little cabin with like a loft where my bedroom will be, and then it has one room where I can put all my studio stuff. So all good things must come to an end. This beginnings here is finally ending. So the original spot of the YouTube channels is moving, and we're going to have our own cute little cabin. Now, it's really expensive to move into. It's like $3,250 just to move in, and I got like $4,500 or something in my name right now because of the way the business is. You know, I'm rolling all the money through the website and everything. I'm trying to really get things going. But now that things are calming down with Marvel, I can save more money. So I'm going to do a live stream today, and I'll do like a subathon or something. If you guys want to come support and help me get moved in, you can. Definitely not required, but it's a little plug for myself for a little bit of a stressful time coming up because I'm moving as of the 1st. So love you all. And man, I'm really actually, honest to God, super excited about the new place because I'm going to get my fan, like, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I got fan art and stuff, and I got more in my drawers. I'm going to try to get stuff set up. You know, it's actually it's going to feel like home because for the people that didn't know, I've gone through, you know, I had an ex-wife that lived with me here. I had an ex-girlfriend after the wife that lived with me here. You know, I've had a lot of relationships and ghosts of the past walking the halls here. Plus, I've been here a lot of years. This is where we had Fat Cat, and Fat Cat lived and died here too, and I miss her. So it's just going to be good to have kind of a fresh start and a fresh beginnings, and especially with the new channel, I'm really starting to be kind of the primary focus. So I think kind of new beginnings are coming, which is exciting, and I think we'll talk about that some more on the live stream today, which will be on twitch.tv/DarthMacTransaction. See you there.